So we're going to talk about some doughs here, one of which
But
is,
before we do it, I should show them how a mathematician thinks about elasticity.
Yes.
Has anyone made bread? You should all go home and make bread. So if you make bread, so there's this molecule in wheat, which is gluten. Actually, it's two molecules. It's glutenin and gliadin. And basically, these are proteins that basically form cross-links with each other. They stick to each other to form a gel. And then what happens is when you need them, they tend to line up the molecules. And the molecules, when they're very long and they like to stick to each other by short-range interactions, and that basically gives bread dough its strength. Anyway, so if any of you have baked, what you learn is that if you want to make the dough stronger, then you either add salt or you use high-protein flour, which gives it more gluten. And there are also ways of making it weaker. You can add fats or oil, sugar, or add acidity. And I think Mark and our friends at Johnson & Wales have made for us 3 types of dough, right, Mark?
Yeah, courtesy of the baking department at Johnson & Wales, we have this one. This is made... they're all the same recipe. One is made for Cup for Cup, which is a gluten-free flour, also developed by a graduate of Johnson & Wales. This is a high-protein bread flour, which is around 13% protein. And then this is Vital Wheat gluten, which is used often in the processed food industry. It's 75% gluten. This is not why people allegedly have celiac disease, which is an immune deficiency disease, but perhaps gluten intolerance could potentially stem from this stuff.
But this stuff is amazing. We were playing this before. You guys all have to make this and go home and play this.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Imagine
cool.
that in your lower intestine, huh? Yeah.
But now let's try the bread flour. The normal bread flour. This is actually
this is like regular.
This is regular. This is high protein, though. You guys didn't even use
this. This was made set overnight too.
Ready?
So.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You can go.
Check that out. That's cool. Oh, you let go. Go do it again. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, now this is the most amazing thing. This is the gluten-free flour, and by all appearances, it looks the same. Do you see? Doesn't it look like flour?
Allowed to develop.
It's developed
overnight.
Overnight, even longer than the regular flour.
Yes.
Okay, so shall we do it?
Okay, ready?
Ready? You guys have to watch this fast. Ready?
1, 2. Oh my God! It's like ricotta cheese. I mean, this is
total. It's like,
how do you make anything from this?
You make pasta out of this?
Yeah. What was I thinking?
How do you do that?
But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, as you can imagine.
I mean, gluten is really amazing.
It's magic. It's magic. And the amount of ingredients necessary in this dough to poorly simulate.
Right, so you might be curious about what's in the gluten-free flour. So actually, Mark gave me the ingredients in this gluten-free flour for you all to admire. So it has cornstarch, which doesn't have gluten. It has white rice flour, brown rice flour, no gluten. Milk powder, tapioca flour, no gluten. Potato starch, no gluten. But then at the end, there's this ingredient. It's a white powder.
And they made this lovely sauce over here.
It's the white powder that was used in the lovely sauce. It's called xanthan gum. Mm-hmm. And xanthan gum, as you saw in the sauce, it's sort of crappy.
Yeah.
It does bind things together a bit, but that's basically the only thing in there that binds things together.
Yep. And that's decidedly the best version of gluten-free flour really available on the market.
Right, and you compare that with this stuff, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, this stuff basically has the property that like air doesn't get out. I don't know if you've ever baked bread.
This is what makes Wonder Bread so delicious right here, this stuff.
They put this in Wonder Bread?
Yeah. Well, because they don't want to take the time to allow it to, ferment and rise naturally.
So they just put that stuff in.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's science.